The stars looked calm, silent, peaceful. Commander Raina Voss stood on the bridge of the UTS Valor, her hands behind her back. She stared out the large viewing window, eyes scanning the endless black. The Andromeda expanse stretched before them, a vast region of unknown space. It was empty, but not quiet. Space was never truly quiet. Status report, Raina said calmly. Lieutenant Mara Lin turned from her console. All systems normal, Commander. No threats detected. Routine patrol holding steady. Raina nodded. Good, keep it tight. The Expanse has a way of surprising us. The Valor was a Terran warship, one of the strongest in the United Terran Alliance fleet. Sleek, dark gray armor, adaptive AI, weapons powerful enough to tear apart an asteroid field. It was a symbol of Earth's strength and its caution. This patrol was routine, a standard sweep along the edge of human space, near regions mapped but never explored. But Raina knew better. Nothing was truly routine this far out. Behind her, Commander Nico Darren stepped forward. He was the weapons chief, tall and sharp-eyed. We picked up some odd readings an hour ago, he said. Could be natural, could be something else. Raina turned. Why didn't I hear about this sooner? Nico hesitated. The data was thin, barely a spike. Could have been a solar flare, or cloaking tech. That got Raina's attention. Run it again. Deep scan. Wide arc. I want to know if we're alone. Mara tapped her console quickly. Scan running. Expanding range. The screen showed a web of sensor lines spreading out into space. Far beyond their ship, unseen and silent, a Zarelian scout vessel hovered in the dark. Cloaked, watching. Inside the alien ship, golden light pulsed across walls made of living crystal. The Zarelian crew stood still, their tall, insect-like bodies focused on the data streaming before them. The human warship had been scanned. The results were unexpected and terrifying. Weapon strength, extreme. The Zarelian technicians said in their tongue. Battle records, extensive. Efficient, brutal. High Seer Valzek narrowed his many eyes. He studied the holographic images. Human soldiers, machine weapons, coordinated attacks. No hesitation, no mercy. They are more dangerous than we thought, Valzek said. They must be stopped before they become unstoppable. Back on the Valor, the scans came back clean. Nothing in range. No signals, no energy patterns. But Raina felt something, a weight. A pressure in her gut, the kind that came before a storm. She looked once more out the viewing window. Something's out there, she whispered. The stars didn't answer. High Seer Valzek stood in the center of the Zarelian command chamber. The walls shimmered with biolight, glowing in soft blue pulses. Above him, the holographic image of the human warship spun slowly. The UTS Valor, a name spoken with no fear. Yet, he stared at the image, silent. Continue the analysis, he said. A technician stepped forward. Its voice was soft and echoing. We scanned their war systems. Plasma cannons, EMP lances, adaptive shields. Their AI responds to threats faster than we expected. Another screen lit up. Human battle footage played. Raina Voss led her crew through a skirmish from 2 years ago. Fast strikes. Calculated decisions. No wasted movement. Look at them, Valzek said coldly. Primitives with tools too powerful for their hands. They move like predators, not explorers. He turned toward the other Zarelians gathered their elders, commanders, scholars. We believed humans were only a minor threat, but they evolve. Fast, they adapt, and now they patrol near our border. Do you propose war? One elder asked. No, not yet, Valzek said. But we must prepare. If they move closer, we strike first. Far away aboard the UTS Valor, Commander Raina Voss sat in her quarters. The room was simple. A desk, a chair, a screen showing the view outside. She sipped black tea, her eyes still thinking. Something felt wrong. She tapped her comm. Bridge. Lieutenant Mara answered. Yes, Commander. Recheck our sensor logs from the last 6 hours. Filter for non-standard energy readings. Any anomalies at all. Running it now. Reyna leaned back. She trusted her instincts. Years of command had taught her one thing. When something feels off, it usually is. A soft chime broke the silence. Mara's voice returned. Commander, we've found a signal. Very faint. Buried in the background noise. It's not natural. Reyna stood immediately. I'm on my way. On the bridge. The crew was quiet and focused. Reyna stepped in. What do we know? Nico pointed to a screen. We isolated the signal. It's alien, patterned. Not a transmission meant for us. More like internal communication. Reyna studied the waveform. Can we decode it? Partially, Mara said. Most of it is unreadable. But we translated a few words. The main screen displayed the translation. Containment protocol. Threat level escalating. Observation complete. Reyna's eyes narrowed. We're being watched, she said. Silence fell across the bridge. Then Nico spoke. By who? Reyna stared out at the stars. I don't know. But they think we're dangerous. She turned to her crew. And that means they might act first. Mara swallowed hard. What do we do? Reyna answered simply. We get ready. The bridge of the UTS Valor felt heavier than usual. Every beep, every flicker of a screen, seemed louder in the silence. Commander Reyna Voss stood at the center. Arms crossed, eyes locked on the decoded message hovering in the air. Containment protocol, threat level escalating. Observation complete. No known species in the region had sent it. That made it worse. Lieutenant Mara looked up from her console. Signal origin is hard to trace. But the energy signature doesn't match any local background noise. It's alien. Commander Nico stepped forward. This isn't just a scan. This was a judgment. Reyna nodded. Someone out there saw us, measured us, and didn't like what they saw. The room stayed quiet. Options? Reyna asked. Mara answered first. We could retreat. Move back to safer space. No. Nico cut in. If we do that, it shows weakness. Whoever they are, they might chase us. Or think they scared us off. Reyna agreed. We hold position, but we don't provoke. No weapons powered unless we're threatened. She tapped her console, bringing up a tactical map. I want short-range scans on a loop. Passive only. No aggressive pinging. What if they're planning something? Mara asked. Reyna didn't answer right away. Then she said, then we talk to them. Before it's too late. Far beyond, on the Zarelian scout ship, High Seer Valzek stared at the same warship through a glowing screen. The humans still hadn't moved. Still hadn't fired. They just waited. He didn't trust it. They are predators, he said aloud. But patient ones. They wait until they see weakness. One of the elders beside him hissed gently. You may be letting fear lead you. Fear is wisdom. Valzek replied. Fear keeps us alive. He raised a hand, activating the communication panel. Send them a controlled transmission. No coordinates, no identity, just a warning. Let them know they are seen. A few hours later, the Valor received it. A hollow voice echoed through the speakers. Not human. Not like anything they'd heard before. Your weapons speak louder than your words. We have seen your violence. We remember your wars. We will not wait for another. Reyna listened in silence. Then the voice ended. Nico slammed a fist on his console. That's a threat. It's fear, Reyna said calmly. They're afraid of us. Mara looked confused. But why? We didn't attack. We're just passing through. Reyna turned to her crew. Because they saw what we are capable of. Not just what we've done, but what we could do. She paused. And now, they're deciding whether to strike first. She looked out the window again. The stars didn't blink, didn't move. But Reyna knew someone was watching. I won't let fear start a war, she said. We're going to talk to them. Really talk. Nico raised a brow. And if they don't want to listen? Reyna's voice was steady. Then we show them the truth. About us. The whole truth. She sat down in the command chair. Calm. Focused. Prepare a reply. Diplomatic channel. No threats. No lies. Just facts. As the crew moved, Reyna whispered to herself. They fear the worst in us. Maybe it's time we show them something better. The message was ready. Short, clear, and carefully worded. Commander Reyna Voss stood at the front of the bridge as her crew finished final checks. "Is the diplomatic channel secure?" she asked. Lieutenant Mara nodded. "Encrypted and stable. They'll get it." Reyna took a breath. "Send it." Mara tapped the command. A pulse of blue light shot from the Valor, carrying the message across the stars. Reyna's voice echoed in the transmission. "We are not your enemy. We seek only peace, but we are ready to defend if needed. Let's talk before either side makes a mistake." Then they waited. For minutes, nothing happened. Then the screen on the bridge flickered. A new signal came in, strong, direct. Commander Mara said, eyes wide. They responded. The bridge lights dimmed slightly as the screen came to life. An image formed, alien, tall and thin, with many eyes that blinked slowly. Its skin shimmered like stone in water. This was High Seer Valzek. Reyna stepped forward. "I am Commander Reyna Voss of the United Terran Alliance." Valzek studied her. His voice, when it came, was deep and slow. "You lead a ship built for war. You command weapons made to destroy. And yet you speak of peace." Reyna stayed calm. "Yes, because peace is the harder choice, and the smarter one." Valzek tilted his head slightly. "We scanned your history. We saw what humans do in war. You burn. You crush. You conquer." He raised a hand. The screen changed, showing clips from human wars. Ground troops firing, ships exploding, cities falling. "We watched your records," he said. "You fight without mercy. You create machines that think like predators. How can we trust you?" Reyna didn't flinch. "Those records are real. We won't deny them, but we've changed. We learn from our mistakes. And not every war was about conquest. Some were about survival." Valzek said nothing. He just watched. Reyna continued, her voice steady. "We also sent aid. We rebuilt worlds. We've kept peace in places others abandoned. You saw our worst, but you didn't look for our best." There was silence, long and still. Then Valzek spoke. "You show restraint now. But what happens when fear returns? Or anger? Will you still choose peace then?" Reyna met his many eyes. "I don't know the future, but I know my orders. And my values. We don't want war with you." Valzek paused again. Then he gave a slow nod. "Perhaps there is more to you than violence." The signal began to fade. "One message does not change what we have seen," Valzek said. "But it changes how we see it." The screen went black. Reyna exhaled. The tension in her shoulders eased, but only slightly. "Commander," Nico asked quietly. "We got through to them," she said. "But it's a start." Mara added, "What do we do now?" Reyna turned to her crew. "Now we wait and prepare. Fear is still out there, and it hasn't decided what to do next." The warning lights flashed red on the UTS Valor's bridge. "Unknown ship approaching fast," Mara reported, not broadcasting identity. No response to hails. Commander Reyna Voss stepped forward. Visual. The screen lit up, showing a massive vessel moving toward them. It was sleek, dark, and unfamiliar. "Alien," Nico stared. "That's not a scout, that's a warship." Reyna's eyes narrowed. "Cerelian." It hovered at the edge of their sensor range, not firing, not retreating, just watching. "Tactical status?" Reyna asked. Nico checked his console. "They've powered weapons. Shields up, same as us." "They're showing force," Reyna said. "Trying to pressure us." The bridge was quiet, tense. Reyna turned to her crew. "We do not power up weapons unless they do more than just float. Understood?" Heads nodded. Orders were followed, even if hands hovered nervously over controls. In the Zarelian command ship, High Seer Valzek watched the Valor in silence. "Why haven't they run?" one of his advisors asked. Valzek didn't answer. His eyes stayed fixed on the human ship. "No panic, no movement, no threats," he said finally. "Strange," the advisor shifted nervously. "They should fear us, Valzek tilted his head. Maybe they do, or maybe they've learned to live above fear. A second advisor spoke. Should we fire? No, Valzek said. We still don't understand them, and they haven't crossed the line. On the Valor, the tension grew by the minute. The two ships floated in silence, weapons ready, yet no one moved. They're waiting for us to flinch, Nico said quietly. Reyna didn't blink. Then we don't. Suddenly, she had an idea. A bold one. Send them everything, she said. Mara looked up. Everything. Our battle records, strategy logs, AI reports. The full record, no edits, let them see all of it. The good and the bad. Won't that scare them even more? Mara asked. Reyna turned to face her crew. If they're going to judge us, let them see the full truth. Our strength, our restraint, our reasons. Mara hesitated, then nodded. Sending now, on the Zarelian ship. New data flooded in. Footage of human battles. Calculated strikes. Enemies defeated in seconds. Machines that learned and adapted, but also clips of rescue missions. Human crews pulling civilians from war zones. Medical ships landing on dying planets. Peace talks. Sacrifice. Valzek watched it all. Such power, one advisor whispered. But they hold back. Valzek said nothing for a long time. Then finally, they could have fired first. They didn't. They could have hidden this. But they showed us. He stood tall, thoughtful. Maybe they are not the monsters we feared. He turned away from the screen. Hold position. No attack. We will wait. Back on the Valor, silence filled the bridge again. Then Mara spoke. They've stopped moving. Weapons are powering down. Reyna nodded slowly. They got the message. Nico leaned back, relief on his face. You gambled big, Commander. Reyna's voice was quiet. No, I told the truth, and they listened. She looked out into the stars. But it's not over yet. High Seer Valzek sat alone in the dark chamber of his ship. The walls pulsed with soft golden light. Outside, the human warship remained still, silent, restrained. He replayed the final segments of the human data transmission. One video showed a group of Terran soldiers surrounding an alien child during a failed evacuation. They had no reason to help, no orders, but they risked their lives anyway. Another clip showed Commander Reyna Voss speaking calmly during a hostage crisis, refusing to attack even when provoked, choosing words over weapons. Valzek's fingers twitched. Why would predators act with mercy? He closed his many eyes for a moment. In his mind, he remembered his homeworld, once attacked by another species, long extinct. Entire cities had burned before help arrived. The fear of outsiders had never left him. It became his law, his guide. But this was different. An advisor entered the chamber. They wait, Seer. No movement. They're not preparing to strike. Valzek didn't answer at first. He walked to the viewing panel and stared at the Valor. Do you believe they are dangerous? He asked. Yes, the advisor said. But now, I also believe they are aware of it. Valzek gave a slow nod. And that may be the most dangerous thing of all. Aboard the UTS Valor, the crew waited. The Zarelian ship hadn't moved in hours. Reyna stood at the main window, arms crossed. The silence was heavier now, but not threatening, more like the pause before a decision. Commander, Mara said, breaking the quiet. We're receiving a signal. Reyna turned. Open it. The voice that came through was Valzek's. We have seen enough. The bridge crew held their breath. You possess power greater than most. Your past is violent. Your mind is sharp, but you choose not to destroy us. That speaks louder than your weapons. Reyna stepped forward. So what happens now? A pause. Then Valzek replied. We will not strike. We will not speak further. But we will not forget. You will be watched. If your restraint is true, you have nothing to fear from us. Then the transmission ended. Mara looked up. Their ship, it's turning. They're leaving. The bridge stayed still for a long moment. Nico exhaled deeply. That's it. Just like that. Reyna nodded. For now. In the Zarelian ship, Valzek watched the human vessel disappear into the distance. He turned to his advisors. We do not understand them fully, but they are not like the others. Should we trust them? One asked. No, Valzek said softly. But we do not need to fight them yet. He walked from the chamber, his mind still heavy, but no longer filled with fear. They are strong because they choose to be gentle, he whispered. That is what we should fear most. Back on the Valor, the mood was quiet, focused. The crew had seen a war avoided, by words, by truth, by choice. Reyna sat down in her command chair. We didn't fire, we didn't run, and we're still alive, she said quietly. Mara smiled. That's a win. Reyna nodded. Yes, but peace is fragile. We keep watch, we stay ready, and we keep choosing the harder path. She looked out at the stars, calm, distant, silent. But for now, she said, we breathe. The UTS Valor moved slowly through open space. The red alert lights were gone. The bridge lights had dimmed to their normal calm blue. The Zarelian ship was no longer on sensors. Commander Reyna Voss sat in her command chair, silent, thoughtful. Around her the crew moved with quiet focus, checking systems, logging data, resetting protocols. It felt like the moment after a storm. Anything new on scans? Reyna asked softly. Lieutenant Mara looked up. All clear. No ships in range. Just us and the stars. Reyna nodded. Log it. She tapped her console and opened the ship's log recorder. Captain's log. Final entry for mission Z-17. Date May 12, 2471. We made contact with an unknown alien force. We were scanned, studied, and judged. They expected monsters. Instead, we showed them the truth. We didn't run. We didn't fire. We didn't lie. And they chose not to destroy us. She paused, fingers still above the console. Maybe it's not victory. Maybe it's not even peace. But today, it's something better than fear. She closed the log. In the observation deck, Reyna stood alone, watching the stars. The ship moved gently, humming beneath her feet. Nico joined her, holding 2 cups of coffee. He handed her one. I thought you might need this, he said. She smiled. Thanks. They stood together in silence for a moment. They'll probably be watching us for a long time, Nico said. I know, Reyna replied. And we'll be ready. He looked at her. You think they'll come back? Maybe, maybe not, she said. But if they do, I hope they remember this moment. The moment we chose not to be enemies. Nico nodded. Not everyone would have handled it the way you did. Reyna turned to him. That's why we're out here. Not just to show strength, but to show who we really are. He raised his cup. To not firing the first shot. She clinked hers gently against his. To earning trust, instead of forcing fear. Later the Valor continued its patrol. No sirens, no threats, just stars. The crew rested, repaired systems, shared meals, told quiet stories. Reyna walked the halls, nodded to her officers, thanked her engineers, and watched the ship breathe. She stopped by the viewing window one last time. Outside, space stretched endlessly. Cold, beautiful, mysterious. But now, it felt just a little less hostile. She whispered to herself. Sometimes survival doesn't come from power. It comes from understanding. She stood there a moment longer. Then she turned and walked away, her ship steady behind her, her crew strong beside her.